In the bustling city of Ondo, there lived a very beautiful able lady named Mrs Ayomide. Mrs Ayomide was married to her husband, who was into importing and exporting and also into oil well. He had a lot of money. He had everything he needed in life to make him comfortable. Mr. Ayomide, on the other part, had a slight health issue. He had issues with his heart, so he always tried to manage it. Something too excited should not be told to him, and something too sad shouldn't also be told to him. He had tried to manage his life on a very plain way. He didn't want anything to disturb his health. And as the days went by, this beautiful couple had welcomed their son, Dari. Dari is very handsome. Not just that Dari was handsome, Dari was also very intelligent. The moment Dari started going to school, all he had was a success. He always cleared all his courses. Dari never made his parents struggle for one day. He wasn't that kind of child that was going to bring them pain, bring them sorrow. Dari was everything they prayed for. Dari was that perfect son. One fateful day, while they were sharing a dinner, Mr. Ayomide had gotten a message and he slumped. Mrs. Ayomide and Dari had rushed their father to the clinic, and while the doctors were trying to get him stable, Mrs. Ayomide quickly wanted to know what had caused her husband to slump. And when she went through the phone, she found out it was a good news. She was really confused and scared at the same time. The good news was that they had won a contract, but at the same time, she needed her husband stable. She needed her husband to be okay. But while the doctors were still running up and down and trying to fix the puzzle, Mr. Ayomide gave up the course. Mrs. Ayomide cried. She wailed. She was in pain. At that point, nothing anyone told her could console her. This wasn't the life she had planned. She had planned to have kids, other kids apart from Dari. She had planned to live with her husband for over 100 years. That was their dream, to always live together, die together and be buried together. So why will her husband suddenly leave her? And moreover, the news that came his way wasn't even a bad news, but no one could console her. She cried and cried and cried. And after that day, the only person that gave her hope was her son, Dari. She practically called Dari, or call me, my own husband. Oh, Mrs. Ayomide treated Dari like her husband. Mrs. Ayomide served Dari like her husband. She did everything in this world to make Dari comfortable. While Dari was in the university, Mrs. Ayomide got an apartment close to his hostel. She told herself that she cannot leave her son alone. Not at all. She has to take care of her son. She has to be close to her son. She didn't want any evil eyes close to her son. And she didn't want all those small girls coming to win her son away from her. She wanted to take charge over her son. She always reminded her son that his life belongs to her. She gave birth to him. He suckled on her breast, and everything he has belongs to her. So he should always remember that, and he should learn to be grateful. So with this, Dari practically walked on eggshells. Nothing he did was on his own free will. He had to seek his mother's permission. Dari could not bring his friends home without telling his mother. Dari could not hang out without telling his mother. His mother practically knew all his friends, right from secondary school down to university. And even when Dari was a full-grown man, working in their company, Mrs. Ayomide frustrated his day-to-day life. She practically planned his life. Dari worked and lived according to his mother's rules and regulation. He had no life. Dari was tired of this, but he didn't know how to break off from his mom. Because whenever he tries to, she will cry. She will wail and tell him, "Oh, if only your father was alive, he wouldn't leave me for anybody. I don't blame you, Dari. Dari, how can you do this to your mother?" Dari was tired of hearing all this. He was already used to her poem. But at the end of the day, she had no other person. And Dari had thought to himself, what was the best way out of this? Was it advising my mother to go get married to someone else? Because I can't breathe without her. Everything I have to do have to pass through my mom. Dari tried. Dari even started introducing her to various people. But she wasn't interested in anyone. Mrs. Ayomide had gained power, so she needed someone she could control, someone she could manipulate. That was all she needed. Dari was just a scapegoat, and whosoever he gets married to will be the scapegoat number 2. Dari was tired, but there was no way out. Mrs. Ayomide had gotten him the house he lives in. In fact, his maid knew that Dari had no say. His mom often told him the outfit to wear each day. Dari was a living hell. He needed a free life. He needed something different. But how was that possible? Whenever she wasn't ready to cry for him, she would quickly tell him, Dari, if you think you can make money, then leave. Go and make the money for yourself. You've always lived and breathed under my own wealth. So you think it's easy to make money? Dari, don't try me today. If you do, I'm going to send down rain and thunder on top of your head. Oh, see this boy, I'm trying to arrange his life and he's there misbehaving. Do you know how many people will be pleading for someone like me to be their mother? Dari, don't. Do not. And Dari will quickly call himself to order, knowing fully well that his mother can be trouble most times. One fateful day, the current maid was sick, and the company quickly informed him prior to them that the maid had called, and they were sending in a new maid for him, and the maid was going to resume that evening because the current maid couldn't carry out her activities. So Dari accepted and even had to pass the information to his mom. So as his mom don't come the next day and assumed the new maid was his girlfriend, he quickly passed the information to his mom, and the mom was okay with it. Eve, this beautiful, curvy, nice maid, she had it all. She had this bright smile. She had this welcoming spirit. She had that spirit that could give you joy the moment you see Eve. Eve was everything exceptional. She wasn't the regular maid. Eve had gone to school. Not just that she had gone to school, she was well-spoken, mannered, and she could read through someone. She knew when someone was trying to manipulate another person. The moment Eve had come into Dari's home, she had fixed everything according to the information the agency had given to her. And life continued. The very first morning Eve had come, she noticed that Mrs. Ayomide practically lived Dari's life. And she was really confused. And she asked her boss one day, when her boss was done putting on the clothes his mother had picked for him. And she told him, today is quite a sunny day. Why don't you try looking a bit brighter? That was when Dari knew that this is a total different person. Other maids just follow the rule, whereas this one was open to communication. And Dari looked at her and said, do you think so? Eve looked at him and said, I know so. And she quickly picked another outfit for him and told him to try it on. And the moment Dari put it on, he liked it. It was different. It was unique. The combination, the colors and everything was standing out. It wasn't the regular suit or tuxedo. This was a different combination and he didn't need to wear coat or jacket on it. It was quite okay for him. So Dari wore what Eve had picked for him and went to work. That day, his mom had come to the office to run some errand. And the moment she saw her son, she looked at her son and said, Dari, what is this you're putting on? Do you think you're in the beer parlor? Dari looked at his mom and said, Mom, why do you have to make a big deal out of everything? Some days, I should be able to do what I want. She looked at her son and said, okay, well, since you want to bite the finger that is feeding you, I'm going to send you out of my company soon. Dari told his mom, Mom, it has not gotten to that extent. Don't worry, after today I won't wear anything that you don't like. Mrs. Ayomide looked at him and said, okay, now you understand. And she left. But that evening, when Dari got back, he already had a very annoying day because his mom had come to piss him off at work. But he returned back to his welcoming housemaid, Eve. Eve had served him a different meal from what was on his regular timetable. In fact, Eve wasn't following anything on that timetable, knowing fully well that it wasn't chosen by Dari. She met him that evening when he was done with his dinner and asked him if he had enjoyed it. Dari said, fantastic. It stood out. Beautiful. And Ivy quickly told him, sir, don't you mind telling me the things you like? I can help to make it a balanced diet for you. I totally understand that your mom wants you to eat healthy, but you can eat anything you want to in the right proportion. You don't have to follow everything stated here. Barry looked at her and said, excuse me, miss. I don't think I'm okay with the fact that you want to change everything in my house. You came here and you met rules. You should abide by them. Where there are no rules, anything is allowed. Ivy told herself that probably she had overstepped. She quickly apologized to Dari and left. But when Dari thought about everything Ivy had said, truth be told, Ivy had stayed with him for a period of 1 week. She had observed the way his mom always comes around to make trouble. And she wanted him out of the cage. He could decide to be Dari whenever his mom is around, but he should be the boss in his own house. And the next day, he quickly gave Ivy everything he liked, how he wanted his meal made. Ivy was really excited. She felt her boss was gradually breaking free from the shackles of his mother. This wasn't love again, but obsession. How could a mother be obsessed over her son? She literally controls and breathes for him. Ivy puts everything to order, as well as his clothing, changing everything, even the decor of his house. Dari changed everything. Whenever his mom wanted to pay him a visit, he always stated that he was not around, that he had one business transaction to round up, he had not yet finished something or the other. He just didn't want her in his space. He was gradually becoming Dari, living the life he wanted. And with the help of Ivy, Dari started hanging out with various ladies. He had the opportunity to start hanging out, as Ivy wasn't telling on him like other maids. Whenever his mom called, she was going to state or lie something had come up, and Mrs Ayomide would never come to the house knowing fully whether her son wasn't at home. In fact, Dari really appreciated the presence of Ivy, because now he was living the way he wanted to live. He had a girlfriend and everything was going on well for them. Until one fateful afternoon, when Dari had decided to bring his girlfriend home. Unknown to him, his mom was sitting in the living room and waiting for him. The moment he entered with the girlfriend, she gave this funny look as she welcomed her son. The way she hugged her son, more like he was his property. The girlfriend busy did not say anything. She just looked at Mrs Ayomide and politely greeted her. Mrs Ayomide welcomed her with a warm smile and downloaded her with various questions. Who are you? Which primary school did you graduate from? Which secondary school did you graduate from? Which university did you graduate from? What's the occupation of your parents? What's the nature of your job? Do you think you're going to work when you get married to my son? The questions kept on coming left, right, center. Bisi was confused. This was the first time she was meeting Dari's mother. Why is she choking her up with various questions? They had not even spoken about marriage. But when she was done answering all these questions, she left. The moment Bisi had left, Mrs Ayomide quickly told Dari to end that thing. End that thing, oh. She told her son, that thing you think you have with that lady, end it. Because it's not going to work. I don't like her. I don't even like the way she speaks. I hate everything about her. She's not the woman for you. Dari looked at his mom and said, no, mom, I really love Bisi. I love Bisi and I want to be with her. Mrs. Ayomide said, okay, oh, if you want to be with her, then be ready to kill me because you're not going to get married to Bisi over my dead body. Dari thought it was a joke, but everything he did in order to get Bisi, his mother made sure to destroy them. She really stood like a strong pillar against that relationship. Dari didn't know what to do. In fact, every relationship Dari had tried to introduce to his mom, she always had something to say about it. I don't like her. She looks like someone that is only here for the money. I don't like that one. Omoibo. No. She always had something to say. Dari got tired. And one day Dari asked his mom, Mom, do you have someone you want me to get married to? And his mom said, hey, it's now you're coming. You should have asked me this since. You don't know I have someone I have prepared for you. A very beautiful lady. Someone that ticks all your boss. You know I know you now. I know what my son will like. And lo and behold, his mom had introduced him to a very beautiful lady, Tope. Tope hates mommy's boy. She hates everything about mommy's boy because she grew up in a very fantabulous home. And the first day she had come into the house, she saw the way Mrs. Ayomide was talking to Dari, and she made up her mind that she was never going to get married to Dari. She had always heard he was intelligent, he was outstanding, he dressed well, he did this, he did that. But seeing the way he behaved around his mom, felt like as if he was a baby. When she got home that day, she quietly called him over the phone and told him, "Whatsoever you have in mind about me, please can you cancel it?" And Dari was trying to understand why, what was going on. They've just spoken once. And Tope said, "No, truth be told, I don't like people that are easily controlled by their mom. If I get married to you, then she's going to control both of us, and I don't want that." Dari knew that what Tope was saying was true, but there was no way out. She had already cancelled, and Tope wasn't even willing to listen to him. Tope wasn't even willing to wait for him to change. Every relationship he had always fell apart because of his mom. And with the passing days, he found solace in his beautiful house girl, Ify. Ify had always been there for him. Ify always stood when he needed her. Ify was that beautiful girl that could fix his life. Gradually, it started with hanging out on the garden. They spoke about their novels, the books they loved to read, and so many others. They spoke about music, as Dari loved to listen to music. And with time, the communication grew stronger. The bond grew deeper. This was the perfect relationship for Dari, as his mother wasn't even going to suspect anything. To her, Ify was just a maid, but to him, Dari, Ify was the love of his life. Ify loved Dari. Ify made Dari feel like a man. The way they communicated, whenever it was time for dinner, they both played and cooked in the kitchen. In fact, they were having the best time of their life at the back of Mrs. Ayomide. Dari was always excited when he went to work. In fact, everyone could see that Dari had changed. Whenever his mom was talking and backing, he was not listening to her. He wasn't even on his toe like before. He was always smiling because his love, Ify had always told him, whenever your mom is complaining, don't try to apologize if you know you're right. If not, you just keep massaging her ego, giving her reasons to want to control you. If you feel you can work in another company, then start applying. Don't allow her manipulate your life. How long do you think you're going to live under these her shackles? And Dari totally understood what Ify was saying. Dari had even started applying for jobs in other companies. He had told himself that even if his mom wanted to take everything, it was better he stood and be a man rather than being controlled by his mother and her wealth. Ify and Dari loved and respected each other. One fateful day, while they were having the best time of their life, Mrs. Ayomide came to the house unannounced, and to her greatest surprise, she saw her son hugging, kissing and romancing Ify. That was when Mrs. Ayomide showed her real madness. She kept on shouting, screaming, throwing pins at Ify, calling her a witch, and even called her a thief, that she had come to steal her son from her. Ify looked at her and said, "Sorry, ma, I am not what you say I am. I'm a very good person, and your son can attest to that." Dari was someone that had never stood up to his mom, but when it comes to the matters of Ify, Dari was willing to go far and beyond. Dari stood up to his mom for the first time. And even when she came up with the threats of, "If you don't obey yourself, I will send you out of my house," Dari said, "No problem, mom. If you want to send us, no problem. Block my ATM, no problem. Anything you want to do, do it. But you see this lady here? She's my woman. I want her and I've gotten her. She's everything I want in a woman. She cooks well. She respects me. She obeys me. She adores me. I adore her. Mom, you can't scatter everything in my life. You chose my name. You chose the secondary school I went to. You chose the university I went to. You even chose the department for me. In fact, Mom, you did everything for me. But when it comes to my woman, this isn't Bisi, this isn't Tope, this isn't any other lady. This is the lady I've chosen for myself. And his mom kept on looking at him. Is this Dari? Is this my child? Dari kept on talking and talking and talking. And when he was done, he told his mom, if you want us to leave your house, we're ready. We're going to leave today. Mrs. Ayomide knew she needed to calm down because if she doesn't, she was going to actually lose her son to Ibe. And she quickly apologized and said, I'm sorry, I'm sorry for the way I made everything sing, but you did not tell me now. You did not tell me that you started dating the maid. Then I looked at his mom and said, Mom, stop calling her a maid. She's no longer a maid. She had resigned from the agency and she has a work. She goes to work and comes back every day. She is my woman. I'm planning to go and get married to her. This is that you made me say, whoa, get married to who? Dari, you've been keeping me in the dark. What do you mean get married to? When did this whole relationship start that you're talking about marriage? Dari said it started long ago. And everything had grown. And it's time for us to get married. Mrs. Ayomide couldn't believe her ears. She was still trying to process the fact that her son was dating Evie. And now he's talking about marriage. She tried to calm herself down. She stayed in the house for a while and she went back. But when she went back, she kept on asking herself, is that my son, Dari? What happened? How come Dari had changed? But she couldn't answer the question because in less than 2 weeks, her son sent her an invitation to his wedding. He did not ask for any of her help. He handled everything the way he wanted. He did not even want to involve his mother, knowing fully well that she was going to start choosing the wedding gown someone else was going to wear. And after Dari and Evie had gotten married, Dari really enjoyed what it felt like being a husband. Evie gradually limited the way Mrs. Ayomide came to the house. She practically told her mama, I am now his wife. If you must come to my house, please let me know. If not, when you come unannounced, I'm not going to open the gates for you. You have him over 8 hours in the office. Marry him there. But when he comes back, he's my husband and nothing else. Mrs. Ayomide felt bad. She didn't know what to do. She wasn't trying to steal her son. She just wanted her son to herself. That wasn't too much to ask. But Evie was ready for this battle. She knew everything and she was ready for it. Gradually, Mrs. Ayomide started understanding the fact that Dari had to pay attention to his family. Knowing fully whether if Dari doesn't pay attention to his family, she wasn't a good mother. Knowing fully whether her husband paid attention to her. And with the passing days, she gave her distance. She respected Evie and Dari's choice. And she looked into communicating with other people. Not just men, but women, having various friends, trying to live a better life, going on vacation. And she started understanding that life was easy. She loved and enjoyed traveling. Dari was glad that Evie had come his way. Evie was someone that saw what was going on and was able to handle it in a very beautiful way. Dari and Evie gave birth to a total of 2 beautiful children, and they always had Mrs. Ayomide around whenever they wanted her around. She never for one day disrespected Evie, and she loved her grandchildren. She gave them that space they always demanded for, and at the same time, she met someone that was also very nice to her, a very handsome, wealthy man, also advanced in age. She had told her son Dari about it and Dari was really excited. Mrs. Ayomide found love again in the arms of Jack. Jack was that man that clicked all her boxes even at old age. She learned to love and be loved. She learned everything that had to do with love. Dari and Evie lived happily ever after, as well as Mrs. Ayomide and her love, Jackson. Thank you very much for listening to the story of the day. We still remain your favorite storyteller, Zika. Please, I would like you to share what you've learned from the story. Personally, for me, I would say sometimes it's good to be patient. Sometimes things don't come right when you've not met the right person. Evie was always in the picture. When it was time for things to be set straight, Evie came into place and Dari's life was set straight. It's okay for mothers to love their son, but being obsessed about your son doesn't make it right. You don't have to remind your son about the things you've done for them. It's not even necessary for a parent to remind their kids of what they had done for them. I don't see it as something that is necessary. You're their parent and you should do it for them. It is done with love, so it should not be a constant reminder. We still remain your favorite storyteller, Zika. Please and please do not forget to support us by liking our stories, sharing our stories to your loved ones, and to our returning subscribers, thank you. I can't stop thanking you for everything you've been doing for me. Please stay tuned. So we'll see you again in our next story. Bye for now.